So, welcome to this masterclass, The Future of Work Embracing Portfolio Careers for Growth and Flexibility. My name is Ksenia. I'm based in Paris, France. I'm a business coach and a serial entrepreneur. And today I'm going to be sharing with you my strategy how to blend your passions, skills, and income streams into a flexible portfolio career. So today you will discover what is a portfolio career, if it is for you, and how you can start building one right away. I will share with you my personal example of how I built my portfolio career over the past decade. I will draw back the curtain on how I organize my professional interests and passions, what activities and income streams I currently have in my portfolio, plus how I scale my career and income streams without working more. And actually, the objective is to work less. So, by the end of the hour with me today, hopefully you will learn my exact framework that you can replicate to start designing your own portfolio career and the life that you dream of. And obviously, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. So, if I may ask you to turn off all your distractions, I'm going to go pretty fast in this masterclass. I don't want to retain you for longer than necessary. So, if you're ready to turn off your phone, type yes in the chat box. And that will be your commitment for today. Thank you, Michelle. I see your yes. All right. And also, feel free to take screenshots of this masterclass or pictures of you, whatever you want. And if you want to share those with me on social media and tag me at Ksenia Votinova either on LinkedIn or if you're using Instagram, I also have an account there. And I will reshare your story in my feed. And I would also love to see your faces who joined me today. So the first question that I have for you, when you hear the term the future of work, what comes to mind? So tell me in the chat, when you're thinking about the future of work, what are you thinking of? For example, are you thinking remote work? Are you thinking flexible hours? Are you thinking 4-day work week? Or maybe unlimited vacation time as they have in Netflix, which I find pretty exciting. So anybody in the chat, your ideas of what is the future of work for you? So keep those answers going. Full flexibility, time and place. Nice. Remote work, AI, balanced, flexible. Nice. All right. Well, let me draw back the curtain a little bit on the future of work. So these are the 9 future of work trends for 2024 as published by Gartner. So according to Gartner, who do love doing all this research and insights on all the business topics, and something Gartner is someone we actually usually refer to when teaching at a business school. So these are their 9 key trends for the future of work this year. But I would like to demystify them in more simple terms and what they mean for us from the perspective of a portfolio career. So we won't go through all of them, but only through those that I believe make a difference for those of you who are entrepreneurs at heart and who are looking for opportunities to diversify your career path more into a portfolio career. So I would like to start with the trend number 3 on the Gartner list, which is the 4-day work weeks go from radical to routine. So to me, this is the most interesting trend, the 4-day work week. So as you may know, There is a big shortage of talent on the market right now. So companies are willing to do whatever it takes to be competitive, to attract new talent, and to retain the talent that they already have, which means you, if you're currently employed full time. And how do they do that? Well, they do that by listening to what that talent wants. And 63% of that talent, according to Gartner, want a 4-day work week as the top of their wish list. So, what does it mean for you if you still work in the corporate world? That means that soon you will have once per day per week to do whatever it is that you want to do. Now, let's look at the next trend. Number one on their list, which is the cost of work crisis reaches a breaking point. So this trend is about remote work, and some of you guessed it right. So employers are now asking remote employees to return back to the office. But I mean, employees are no dummies. After having the flexibility and freedom to work from home for a couple of years after COVID, now all of us and all these employees understand what it actually costs them to come to work, not only in terms of time but also money, like what it costs them to travel, to eat out, etc., etc. These are lots of costs. So now the corporates, they have no choice but either one, cover the cost of going to the office, or two, allow remote work. So guess what they're going to pick? Like, nobody wants to pay extra. So there's a big chance that they will end up installing the remote work as a rule and not as an exception. So what does this trend mean for you if you want to start building a portfolio career? It means more flexibility in terms of working remotely, and also extra hours in the day that you will save from not traveling to the office and back. So, for example, if you live in the US, and we have some people from US here today, in the UK or in Europe, the average commute time is between 25 to 28 minutes one way. So if we round it up to 30 minutes, it's about 1 hour both ways, door to door, per day. So that means that if you're working a 4-day work week, you're saving 4 hours per week of working remotely. Or if you're working the full week, that is 5 hours per week. So imagine if you had even just 4 hours per week to start building something that you're passionate about. Can you imagine where you're going to be 1 year from now, just from 4 hours per week? Now, let me show you what is trend number 2 doing for us. So AI creates, not diminishes, workforce opportunity. And some of you mentioned AI in the future of work trends. So, right, after worrying for a while that AI will result in workforce cuts, now we see AI actually helping us in the workplace when it's used wisely. So AI is the topic that I absolutely love talking about. And if you follow me on social media, you're well aware of that. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to say that today, that generative AI now helps employers or the corporate reduce the time to proficiency with the new technology and specializations of their employees. That means that now, thanks to AI, they can hire less skilled talent for the same jobs for which they used to hire talent with more expertise. Now, what does this trend can mean for you if you want to start a portfolio career? It means that no matter if you have tech skills yourself right now, You can learn it all with the help of AI and also do so much more with its help. The things that used to cost us a lot of money and used to take us a lot of time when starting your own business, like creating a website or drafting client proposals or doing some market research or writing sales emails and like even doing some client support, all of that became super easy now with generative AI tools like ChatGPT. So today, if you're starting your own business, AI is literally the most valuable and cheapest employee, or the first employee you can have in your business, in your startup. So I find that this is very exciting, and that means that we can do more with less with the help of AI. And now let's look at the trend number 5. And I promise we're not going to go through all of them. This is the last one we're looking at, which is generative AI experiments will yield hard lessons and painful costs. Okay, this is the corporate perspective. So this trend is actually our reminder that no matter how fast the corporates would love to go, they're never going to be able to catch up with startups and small businesses in terms of speed and agility, because all of them, they are tied by internal regulations, and which are there for a reason. They are there to avoid them reputational, legal, and regulatory issues. So all the big corporations, they actually need to put in place a lot of procedures, a lot of structures and processes to allow their employees to start using generative AI, which means for us that when you use it yourself, when you're using ChatGPT for your own business, for example, you will always be faster and more flexible in the way you can leverage AI for your business needs versus a big company, which is a huge competitive advantage. So you can move faster and be more agile. So the recap of how I see the future of work helping us building our portfolio career is that, first of all, we have the time. Look, once all these trends come true for most of the organizations, you're going to have almost 1.5 days per week to do whatever you want while being still employed full-time. Plus, we're going to have the resources, thanks to the AI, at your service, doing more with less, move faster, be more agile. So you will have both time and resources to start building your own business or a series of businesses, as I have, and an alternative career path as a portfolio career. So I hope that I got you excited over here. Give me a yes if that spoke true for you. So that now you see how you can have the time and the resources. So now the only question is, how are you going to spend this time and the resources that AI is generating for us? So there, for me, from where I'm standing, being here in Paris, there's never been a better time in our history to start building a career on your own terms. And I'm going to show you how. So let me run a little poll over here. I don't know what is exactly your reason why you showed up to this masterclass today on this topic of future of work and portfolio careers, but I think I can take an educated guess. The reason number 1 would be that you are curious, what is a portfolio career? The reason number 2 could be that you are motivated to redesign your career on your own terms in 2024. Or reason 3, you're frustrated with where you are right now in your career, but determined to find a better way. So now, if you may, please tell me in the chat or in the poll, which one are you? Let's see. And we can all see the results of the poll to see which answers is winning. Okay, I see curious, motivated. Let's see if there's any more answers coming in. Let's see what we have in the chat. And I see already some questions coming up in the chat. I will take all the questions at the end. Okay. I see that curious and motivated are winning. We do have some frustrated but determined here as well. Well, whatever is your motivation, I fully support you in your journey. And thank you for showing up live today. So let me tell you just very briefly about myself. So I live in Paris for the past 20 years with my husband and my two daughters, ages 13 years old and 13 months old. I was born in the USSR in the Ural Mountains, and I've lived in 6 different countries since then, and I now speak 4 languages, English, French, Russian, and Spanish. I learned English in the US, in the West Virginia mountains when I was 16, and I spent a year there living on the farm with a wonderful family who I love dearly and who I'm actually going to visit with my family this summer, and I'm super excited. And I also spent 4 years an expat in Asia and in Argentina. So I lived in countries like Singapore, Bali, Thailand, and Buenos Aires for 2 years. Now, let me tell you just a little bit of my own journey so you know where I'm coming from and why I'm teaching this masterclass today. So I've been working as an entrepreneur for the past 12 years, entrepreneur and a startup founder. I became my own boss in 2012 when I co-founded my first startup, Le VPN. Since then, I've built 3 companies and acquired 1. So I built a portfolio career as a serial entrepreneur, as a business coach, and also a course creator. Now, I've coached over 1,000 clients. I am a professional certified coach by International Coaching Federation, and I've been trained by the Ericsson International School of Coaching in Canada, and also have done all the trainings with Tony Robbins, who is my big mentor. I absolutely love this big guy. And also for the past 7 years and a half, I've been working as a business coach at INSEAD Business School here in France and in Singapore. And I am working at their executive programs on strategy, innovation, design thinking, and digital transformation and marketing strategy. So where I am today in my career, I have a portfolio career and I run 3 companies, plus I work as a business coach at INSEAD that I mentioned. I have built 5 different income streams, including 2 passive ones, and I have a couple of new ones coming up, and I'm going to tell you more about it later in this masterclass when I'm going to disclose completely the composition of my portfolio today. I say no to projects that drain me and yes to projects and people who light me up and make me grow. I mentor startups that inspire me with their mission, and I also coach 5 one-on-one clients at a time. So I cap it at 15 clients per year because I'm so busy adding my new and evolving passions to my portfolio career. And I really love the flexibility of having my time to do things that I truly love, like being here today with you and sharing with you everything I know about portfolio careers. And I love my life at work as much as I love my life off work, because everything I do is aligned with my mission and passions, which I discovered along the way and keep refining every day. And believe me, my passions and interests are changing all the time. And I am able to leverage those interests and start new ventures that really inspire me. So can you imagine what would it feel like if you only said yes to the projects that truly light me up? Give me a yes or a smile or something in the chat so that I can see that you're still there with me. Let's see, anybody there? So I strongly believe that building a portfolio career and running your own business is the single most powerful and strategic way to make an impact in the world while growing your income and freedom to life-changing levels. So this is where we're going with this masterclass. And thank you so much for your emojis in the chat. I do see them. So we're going to start with looking at what exactly is a portfolio career. Then we're going to look if the portfolio career is for you. Then I'm going to share with you the first 3 steps to start building your portfolio career today. And then we will look at the different strategies and opportunities for growing your portfolio career. And then lastly, I'm going to answer all your questions and keep adding them in the chat, and I'm just going to go through it at the end to take them all. Okay, so let's start with the first part. What is our portfolio career? So to me, these are the 4 building blocks of a portfolio career. And by the way, you can find this in your workbook on page 3 to 5, and there are some questions going to be related to this block. So you can find it there now or do it later. So 4 building blocks: professional skills, your expertise, your passions and interests, and then lastly, your different exciting opportunities. So I'm going to walk you through all of them. First one is professional skills. So these are the things that you're good at professionally. For example, it's your core job or your profession or a business venture in which you're working full-time or in a part-time format. Your expertise is your know-how or your professional secrets. So something that you've built over the years and that others are willing to pay for. For example, examples of leveraging expertise could be doing consulting or training or coaching or mentoring or writing a book or creating a podcast or working as a keynote speaker or a speaker facilitator, etc. And then passions and interests. This is something that I love talking about. So this is something that you're passionate or curious about that you wish you had an opportunity to be doing professionally. So I'm giving you some examples from people in my environment, how they leverage that in their portfolio careers. So you can be an actor and actress, a community volunteer, a yoga instructor, a painter, a fiction book author, etc., etc. The opportunities are limitless. And then lastly, the 4th building block is exciting opportunities. Something you didn't even know you wanted, but when the opportunity presents itself, you just cannot help but say, oh yes, I take it. So for example, and it may not be true for you, but for example, appearing in a TV or like starting in a movie or traveling to some exciting destination to do some work and things like that. So let me share with you a concrete example of my own portfolio career and what it is composed of and how I leverage these different 4 building blocks of a portfolio career. So the first one is professional skills. So as I mentioned to you, I'm a business owner of a software as a service company called the VPN. I co-founded it 12 years ago. And in the beginning, I was working in this company full time, but then gradually as the team grew, as the processes got automated, I was working part-time. And now today, I only spend about half a day to 1 day per week for this company, because I have a more like strategic board level role within it. Now, an example of me leveraging my expertise is my work as a business coach at INSEAD Business School. So I was invited there because of my expertise in business and marketing strategy, and also in digital transformation. So when the opportunity presented itself, I obviously jumped on it because it fit my expertise level. And also I had some time freed up, as I was not working at my Le VPN business full-time anymore. Then another opportunity related to expertise is my work as an executive coach. So where I work with executive level private clients as a professional certified coach. So in order to build that expertise, I had to go through the professional coaching training and get my International Coaching Federation certification for that, and obviously coach thousands of clients to get that experience, to be the level of coach that I aspire to be. And another example of how you can leverage your expertise is writing a book. So I've written a book called Weatherproof Business. It's not published yet. It's coming out later this year, and I will make sure to let you know when the book is being launched. But that's another example of another block within a portfolio career, which could be writing a book. Now, let's look at the building block of passions and interests. So, as you may know about me, I love everything which is related to entrepreneurship, startups, and building companies. So I leverage that passion of mine by creating an online program called Mastering Startup Ideas. So that's my own program that I created for aspiring entrepreneurs, which is born from my passion for entrepreneurship and empowering others. Another way I leverage my passions and interests in my portfolio career is being a startups mentor. So that's a pro bono activity, meaning I don't charge any money for that. But I pick the startups I work with, and I only work with social impact startups that are aligned with my values and the impact that I want to create in the world. And then let me give you an example of exciting opportunities. And believe me, when you have a portfolio career, there are so many, and there's just like some of them that I can share with you. So for example, for me, that could be working as a judge or a mentor for different startup competitions. So recently I was invited on INSEAD campus to mentor an MBA startup competition for 3 days. It was in January this year. And well, I absolutely love this opportunity. It was very exciting for me because INSEAD is the school where I did my own MBA, and I lived there for a year in Fontainebleau, near the castle, which used to be Napoleon's hunting residence. So it was super exciting for me to be back on campus and be paid for that as well. So that's why I put it in the building block in the bucket of exciting opportunities. But some other examples could be being a speaker or a podcast guest or a moderator at a conference or workshop facilitator. And really, the opportunities are endless. Something I want to mention here, though, is you need to keep in mind that what I'm showing you here today is actually something I've built over the years. I did not start with this. This is like something I've built over a decade. Obviously, you can go so much faster now that like I'm sharing my whole system with you. But you know, go one step at a time. Like, don't jump over and expect that you're just gonna have like 10 different activities at the same time. And obviously, later in this masterclass, I'm going to share with you what are the first steps you need to take to start building your portfolio career, to get it to something that really excites you at the end of the day. So here I put some indications for you of like where my time goes right now in terms of like what are the key activities that I'm focusing on. So there's basically 4 of them that I do on a regular basis. So my board work at my software company, at a VPN, my business coaching work at INSEAD. It's not every day because these are different programs with different schedules. Sometimes I have more work, sometimes I have no work at all. There's executive coaching, which is only, as I said, I don't take more than 5 clients at a time, which means that I never spend more than 5 hours per week working with these clients. And then my 4th activity is my as an online educator is on my online program, Mastering Startup Ideas, which also is not live all the time. It is launched 3 to 4 times a year. So it's also like there is some regular time that goes into it, but it is also just like one of the blocks of what I'm doing. And then obviously the little number 5 is all the exciting opportunities that can come up that I could start spending my time on or not, but these are like less regular. So I just wanted to show you that. And then obviously my book, which is going to come up soon, and I'm going to spend some time on it as well. Now, let's see, is the portfolio career for you? And so I am going to ask you a couple of questions over here. So how to know if a portfolio career is for you? Are you ready for a quiz? I am going to send another poll your way. So answer in the poll or in the chat, whatever works for you best. Let me see how I close this poll. Okay. So here's a poll for you. And let me guide you through the questions. Question number 1. Do you have multiple passions that you dream to explore? If that speaks true to you, say yes in the chat or in the poll. Question number 2. Do you feel like you could do and achieve more as a professional? Question number 3. Do you feel stuck in one career path and wish there were more options for you? Question 4. Do you want to have multiple active and passive income streams? And do you feel like you have so much more to offer to the world? All right, I'm not sure if the poll actually allows to get to click on multiple answers. Probably not. So it is absolutely fine if you answer yes to all of them. I definitely would if I still were in a corporate job. So if you answered yes to any of the questions, and especially if you answered yes to all of them, then a portfolio career might be your path forward, my friends. So let's see, where do you start? So what should be the first 3 steps to start building a portfolio career? So let's go. Where do we start? Step number 1, you make the inventory. And by the way, this is in your workbook, starting from page 7. So what do I mean by do the inventory? So remember these building blocks of the portfolio career that we looked at. So this is where you start. And the questions in the workbook are going to guide you through that. So in order to answer these questions and in order to start reflecting what your portfolio career could look like, you need to be very clear on where you are right now. What is it that you have in terms of your skills and expertise and passions and interests, and where you want to be. So you can use the portfolio career framework and make the inventory of these three circles: these professional skills, your expertise, your passions and interests. Obviously, you cannot make an inventory of exciting opportunities because you don't know about them yet. And then once you've done this inventory, you can now brainstorm ideas on how those could translate into some career opportunities. Now, step number 2 is pick one opportunity. And I really want to highlight that this is what I always say when I work as a business coach. You need to pick something, and just one thing, and start with one, okay? So bring your focus there. And then you can scale and add more. But pick one opportunity and start with that one. So from that list of the different career options and business opportunities that you've listed, pick one idea that you could start exploring right away. And if it helps you to better make a selection, decide on the criteria of how you're going to make this decision. For example, it maybe your criteria could be that it's something that is easy to get started, or is fast to start testing it, or it's easy to monetize, etc., etc. It's really up to you how you select it, but really focus on just selecting one. And then go for step 3, which is creating an MVP, your minimum viable product or your prototype, and then start testing this idea if this is really a viable option. So think of what could be your first minimum viable product of this idea. So create something that you can start testing right away and you can start learning from. For example, it could be as simple as creating just an offer in Word and then making it a PDF that you can send. Or it could be just a very fast to do landing page. And today there are like so many templates available online that you could create a landing page in less than an hour. Or it could be even an email with your value proposition that you can send to your target audience to test if there is a demand for it. Or another simple way could be just this elevator pitch of something that you could share at the next event in order to test some ground. And most importantly, is not only for what we always want to do when we test things, is to learn from the feedback in order to be able to test again, iterate our idea until we get it right. So here's a recap of the 3 steps of how you can start today and build your portfolio career. Again, these are in your workbook that you can start filling in later, or whatever is the best time for you to actually brainstorm on this. So step 1, make the inventory. Step 2, pick one opportunity. And then step 3, create an MVP, minimum viable product, and then start testing. So before we proceed any further, what I would love for you to do is to commit for taking action. So if you are committed to start moving forward with building your portfolio career, give me a yes in the chat. And even better, using your workbook, you can write down with your own handwriting your commitment. You can say, for example, I, Ksenia, commit to taking this first 3 steps of building my portfolio career by April 15th, or whatever date you are comfortable with. So this is a very powerful coaching technique of commitment. And I hope you will follow my advice and do that. So let's move forward. The last block of our today's masterclass is the strategies and opportunities for growth. So how do we actually grow a portfolio career? Something that is composed of so many different building blocks in so many different career, professional, and business opportunities. Well, let me start with this. All the resources that you need are already within you. I've shared with you today my strategies on how to get started in building a portfolio career, and also showed you how it is absolutely possible in this evolving job market of the future of work to find the time and resources to do it. So even if you feel like you don't have the time for it right now and can only dedicate a few hours per week, um, it will still change in the nearest future. But remember the power of consistent action. By taking just a couple of hours per week, over time, all of that compounds into an effect of you actually having an alternative career path at your fingerprints, and also an additional income stream if this is what you're looking for. And you probably are, as most of us, we all want to have multiple income streams. So how do we scale a portfolio career? You need to be able to avoid the trap of selling your time for money. This is the biggest mistake, the biggest trap I see a lot of people doing. This is when you go into consulting, when you go into coaching, where you are actually selling your time for an hourly rate. As you know, time is our most valuable resource, the only thing that doesn't really scale. So in order to scale your business and in order to scale your income levels, you need to avoid this super common trap. And in order to do that, you need to have at least one business that makes you money while you sleep. That means that it does not need you to be involved in order to generate income for you. So that means shifting from being a business operator, somebody who works in the business, to becoming a business owner, somebody for whom business is working or others are working for you. So how do you do that? Well, the opportunities are actually limitless and endless, and they are everywhere. But if you wonder, like, where do I start, where to find a business idea? Well, you find them actually in the same four buckets we already looked at: your professional skills, your expertise, your passions and interests, and also all the other exciting opportunities that you might see on the market, especially as you start focusing on it. When we focus on something, we start seeing all the different opportunities around us. So let's give you again a concrete example from me. So what are the different businesses and professional opportunities that are generating money for me while I'll sleep? So I told you about my VPN business. This is one of them because I no longer need to be actively involved in it in order to get income from it. The same goes for my online program, Mastering Startup Ideas. Obviously, it takes time to create it. I do spend some time coaching my students there, and also, like, I have a team working for me and marketing this program. But for every additional student that signs up to the program, I don't need to do any additional work. So that is completely scalable venture. And since this is online, I can have a bigger impact and still generate the income for myself while I'm not working. Another income stream that I have is the rental property. Well, that is completely easy because I don't need to spend any time at it at all. So it generates income for me as I sleep. Some other opportunities, as I mentioned to you, my book, Weatherproof Business, that is coming out soon. So again, generating revenue while I'm not working. I've done my work once, and then it's just a consistent income stream. Launching a podcast. So I am going to launch a podcast this year with the same name, Weatherproof Business. So I will make sure to let you know when that is live. So again, when I'll start monetizing that will generate an additional stream of income for me. And then another one is the angel investor. By the way, in this masterclass, I'm not giving any financial advice. So it's really up to your own discretion and your own decisions. Like if there's any investments involved, you decide. But since I do have the experience working with startups, I'm in a good place to be an angel investor and invest in the startups that I selected that I really like. So this is when they will be working and hopefully generating income for me if my decision was right, if my bet was right. So that is my story, and this is how I scale my portfolio career today, which obviously can change. And as I said, I have so many different passions and interests that are changing all the time, but the core of it stays the same. It's all about entrepreneurship, startups, and creating more impact. So now a question for you. Knowing what you know now, can you start to see yourself building a portfolio career that could give you the income and the lifestyle you dream of? Give me a yes in the chat if that speaks true for you. Thank you. Thank you for your yeses. I'm super happy to see that. So here we are. And I am happy to take all the questions that you have. So please take your time, type them in the chat. And I really hope that this masterclass created value for you and that you learned something new and that you are committed to implementing some of the strategies that I shared with you today in order to start building your own portfolio career and diversifying your career paths and also your income streams. Okay, let's see. So there was a question. AI is great for running marketing emails and generates reports. However, is a CTO critical for tech startup? So CTO is a chief technical officer. Obviously, in the tech startup, you need to have a CTO because the tech is your main product. And you not only need to have a CTO, but you probably also need have a good team of developers, etc. So I can share with you my experience in my own tech startup. So as you know, I am one of the co-founders. So we're actually two co-founders, and I am running, or used to be running, the whole business side of the VPN business and marketing. And my co-founder is the tech person. So he is the CTO. He has all the necessary technical skills in the information security and cybersecurity, in product development, etc. So, and that role for a tech startup is very critical because the CDO is that person who hires the product development team, who overlooks the client support team, who overlooks like all the front end, and like even like helping with the marketing, like the website and all the e-commerce setup. So obviously AI is amazing, but I am a big believer that AI is there to help us enhance our work, enhance our jobs, make them faster, more efficient, more precise, with more research, but not replace us, and especially not replace the more senior roles. For example, a CTO, like this is like one of the most senior roles as it gets. So no, I believe AI cannot replace that. Although there are some experiments, right, with the AI becoming a CEO of the company and running the whole company. Do we have any other questions in the chat? So how was this masterclass for you? Can I get some feedback? Was that interesting? So let me answer maybe one more question that I very often get about. So how do you actually manage your time when you have a portfolio career? So um, my example maybe not very typical, because I assume that most of you are still employed full-time or part-time. But still, usually in this portfolio career, you have like one or two activities that take most of your time, for which you're working like part-time or like almost full-time, and then everything else adds on the top of that. So for myself, I kind of know the schedule of how my year is going to look like. I know that for my work at INSEAD, there are specific months in the year where I'm going to be working with a lot of people, coaching a lot of people, because this is when the programs typically start, and this is when the people usually need my help. And even within each program, which is usually 4 to 6 weeks long, I know exactly where in the program they're going to need my help. So that's experience. So I know that there are going to be some peaks in my activity at INSEAD at the specific weeks in the year. And then the same for my online program, Mastering Startup Ideas. I know exactly when my launch dates are, when my coaching calls are, when my promotional period is. And I can also schedule it around everything else that I'm doing and all my other professional activities, so that it does not fall all at the same time. And when you do have the flexibility of having a portfolio career and running different businesses and having different activities, you actually have that flexibility to shift certain things for later, in order to accept something that just comes up last minute. And usually, like most of the most exciting opportunities, they always last minute. And only by having that flexibility of deciding where you spend your time and what you work on right now allows you to take these opportunities, seize these opportunities as they come. Do we have any other questions that I could answer for you here today? And I know that lots of people are watching in the replay. So if you do have any questions after this masterclass, feel free to send me a message in DM on LinkedIn or Instagram, and I'll be happy to take all your questions. And if there's no other questions, as I do not see any, well, oh, there is one. What are the biggest mistakes someone makes doing this? Well, I believe the biggest mistake is what I shared with you, is selling time for money, right? Starting your portfolio career by doing some coaching and consulting, mentoring is probably the easiest step. And a lot of people do that. And I absolutely advise that as the first step. But this is a trap, because you can sell all your hours in the week and then you are stuck doing the same thing. So you always want to find that balance, which is not easy, right? Or like, and be very clear with yourself, like, what is the maximum number of hours per week that I'm selling for money, and how many hours per week do I want to dedicate to building maybe like more long-term projects. Especially if you're building a portfolio career, you always need to leave a few hours per week in order to be working on building up something else, something that will not give you an immediate reward because it requires some time investment, but that allows you to start building that pipeline of something new. I hope I answered your question, Adrienne. All right. So if I don't have any other questions, thank you again for spending this 1 hour with me. I hope I created value for you. And if you have any follow-up questions, that just feel free to DM me, and I'll be happy to hear from you. And I'm wishing you all the best and the best of luck in building your portfolio careers. Definitely keep me posted how it goes for you. And have a wonderful end of the day in wherever you are, in California, in Pakistan, in Europe, in Brazil, and all the other beautiful places you joined me from today. Thank you again, and goodbye.